Hello everybody and welcome to another Monster Hunter World video. Today we're going to be talking about the Great Bowgun. This is a Rarity 8 light bowgun, and if you're interested in unlocking it, you're going to have to go to the arena and farm some of those coins up. It required a whole bunch of coins, and maybe I'll make a video later on how to do that a little more efficiently. I realized there's not a lot of information on YouTube or in the game on how to get those coins nice and fast, so I might take a look into that later. Until then, why don't we go ahead and jump into the weapon stats and start to really analyze it and decide how we feel about it. So, Great Bowgun's starting attack value of 260 is lower than the Tereth Blitz shot starting attack value of 273. That's interesting, but also notice that the Great Bowgun does come with 0% affinity, which is neither good nor bad, but Tereth Blitz shot comes with a negative 10% affinity. Another interesting fact about both these bowguns is that they are both elementless bowguns, so you're actually going to add some attack to those attack values, but it's not going to be better for one or the other. So yes, it's interesting. They're actually pretty close to each other in terms of damage, with Tereth Blitz shot, I'm guessing Tereth Blitz shot just edging out Great Bowgun by a little bit. And most of that, I feel like it's because it's so easy to build up affinity in this game rather than attack, but honestly, I feel like they're right on par with each other. Notice even their defense bonus is the same of plus 20, and obviously you're not going to be able to augment either weapon to have an advantage over the other because they're both rarity 8, right? So we kind of have to go over and take a look at the ammo next, and it gets even more confusing, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, jumping over to the ammo types, what I want to do for you guys, I kind of just want to make this very easy to understand. I stared at these bowguns for a long time to try and make an understanding of them, and it can get wordy and confusing really fast, and I don't want that. To put it short, if you want to deal straight damage with normal, piercing, and spread, Tereth Blitz shot does a slightly better job than the Great Bowgun. Okay, the Great Bowgun isn't anything to cough at, but Tereth Blitz shot is just going to win in terms of using normal, pierce, and spread. However, on the other side, you can see Great Bowgun has sticky ammo level 2. Now that's not a big deal in terms of causing a KO on a monster, but if you have like somebody already using a hammer or a hunting horn on your team, or somebody who already has like a sticky build, being able to offer a little bit more of that KO, a little more of that stun, is going to give a knockdown on the monster, right? So you can consider that almost like an ailment type of ammo. And then you'll also notice it does have recovery ammo. I don't use the recovery ammos. If you do, good for you. It comes with both level 1 and level 2, right? And then most importantly, it has all three of the ailments: poison, paralysis, and sleep. So you can put a monster to sleep, you can paralyze them, and you can poison them. And since you're carrying both the level 1 and level 2 of the paralysis and sleep ammo types, it's actually very possible to get 2 procs of that ailment on the monster. So in a very important way, the Great Bowgun should be seen as an ailment bowgun that's kind of in the same damage hierarchy as the Tereth Blitz shot. Okay, they're very similar to each other. However, Great Bowgun doesn't deal as much damage, but it is capable of causing multiple ailments on the monster and healing teammates. Where at the Tereth Blitz shot, if you just want pure damage, if you're a speedrunner, you're probably going to go with a rapid fire normal ammo 2 on the Tereth Blitz light bowgun. And I have a video for that if you're curious about that. I made it not too long ago. Go ahead and take a look at that if you're curious on it. So, jumping back to the Great Bowgun, I think we should move on to talking about the builds. I have a few builds for you. No cosplay build this time. I looked at the cosplay armor. It's just absolutely atrocious. There's no point in even talking about it. It's just bad. You can wear it if you want to look cool, but there's no reason to use it in terms of armor and weapon synergy. You know what I mean? So, starting us out is the no decorations build for people who have very few decorations. If you happen to have the elementless decoration, go ahead and throw it on in here, okay? That will really help you. Also, if you have a tenderizer jewel and a crit boost jewel, those will help you out as well. And there's room for all three of those. Now, what you can see here is I have attack boost 4. That's coming from the 3 pieces of the Nergigante set. Also, you'll notice 3 pieces of the Nergigante set give me hasten recovery. It's a terrific combination of armor pieces. It works on a lot of starter builds. So if you have the time and you have the you can build these parts. You don't need decorations for it, right? This just gives you a lot of power and 3 pieces of armor. You'll also see I have Health Boost 3. I've done that with the Charm slot. There's a lot of different things you can build in the Charm slot, but I feel like for newer players, you should definitely go ahead and build the Health Boost skill and just throw it onto all of your builds. As Never a bad skill for a new player. It keeps you alive longer, gives you more time to practice fighting the monster, okay? So we got attack boost 4, health boost 3, weakness exploit 2, that's coming from the Rathalos male beta. Agitator 2 is coming from the Nergigante Vambraces alpha, is a decent skill. Maximum might 2 is coming from the Nergigante helm alpha. And then we have normal shots, and that comes from the Diablos Neros Greaves beta, which continues to be an excellent piece of armor all the way until you unlock one of those force shots, or otherwise known as normal shots decorations, right? So this is the no decorations build. It's pretty straightforward. It's a nice, strong little build. Next up, we have the optimized build. Okay, the optimized build is very straightforward. Like many high damage builds, what I do is I build 3 levels of critical boost, and then I build a ton of affinity onto this set. Notice I use Nergigante Helm Beta and Dante's Leather Boots Alpha in order to get a bunch of small decoration slots, and then to be really efficient, I use Awakening Charm 2 and Kieran Longarm's Gamma to get a whole bunch of the like level 2 decoration slots taken care of, right? Well, anyways, like the release jewels or Awakening, what is that, ammo up skill, right? So all that gets taken care of pretty efficiently, and it comes out, I don't know, this is about as good as it gets, right? Like, look at that. I got non-elemental boost on there. I got the normal shot skill on there. Everything you would want for a normal ammo 3 build, which is what this is. So this is kind of like, since you're not going to have better normal ammo 2 than the Tear the Blitz shot, we're going to go with normal ammo 3, right? And then you're going to have all the ailments too, right? Sleep, poison, paralysis. And that's how this is going to compete with the Tear the Blitz shot in terms of normal ammo. I also have a Pierce ammo build because I've heard people say that the Pierce ammo is good on this bowgun. I kind of disagree. I think the new Emperor's Shell Sticks bowgun does it better. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Pierce ammo build for those of you who are curious. Okay, so on the Pierce ammo build, you'll notice right away that I am missing the piercing decoration. If you have that, go ahead and fill it out. You'll notice I went with the slightly different approach here. I took attack boost to 4 and crit eye to 5 in this case. So you miss out on about 5% affinity, but you also do get a nice little boost to your attack. And that's it. It's actually very similar to the normal shots build. One thing that's a little bit different is you only need the ammo up skill to level 2, okay? And that's because you're using Pierce ammo 2, right? You don't need it at 3. And that's it. Do I think this is a really good build? Of course, but personally, I'm probably going to focus on that normal ammo 3 in most cases, and when I really do want to use Pierce ammo, I'm probably just going to switch over to the Emperor's Shell Sticks, or since I also love the heavy bowguns, I'll probably switch over to the Terith Assault Support heavy bowgun, because that bowgun is a beast with the Pierce ammo. As for the finishing remarks for this weapon, I always like to talk a little bit about combat. Be sure you create an appropriate item loadout. I'm thinking in the future I'm going to go ahead and make a video on like how to do really high skill item loadouts and maybe make the most use of radial menus when it comes to crafting ammo. I get people in my comment section all the time asking, how do I craft multiple ammos, right? So I might make that later. But for this weapon in particular, if you're using normal shots is really good at playing it kind of like a mid-range, right? If you're using spread ammo tends to do the most damage. It's a really powerful ammo type. That's why, a lot of speed runs are done with like the new Glutton heavy bowgun, which a lot of people have called overpowered. And I've got a video on that, by the way, as well, if you want to see that. I've got a whole bunch of bowgun videos at this point. But yeah, people say it's overpowered and they say it needs nerfing. Normal ammo is not overpowered, okay? You need to constantly keep a stream of shot on the monster. You need to constantly shoot them in their weak spot. And what's nice about normal ammo is you can kind of be further away from the monster. You don't have to be really close to them. You just got to kind of be in a mid-range. And that's really useful, especially for monsters who stand high off the ground, who move a lot, right? Stuff like that. Like, think of Devil Joe. Devil Joe's very annoying because he stands really high off the ground. It's hard to hit him in the head, right? Well, normal shots on your bowgun will actually do a pretty decent job of that. So that's what normal ammo is for. And not to mention, if you're fighting a really tall monster, go ahead and paralyze him and put him to sleep for your team, which is what the Great Bowgun can do. That's going to be really useful. When it comes to using the Pierce ammo, there's only a few monsters I would really use Pierce ammo on. Something like Bazogus, Uragan, Diablos, Black Diablos, monsters who have really long bodies but also aren't totally resistant to that type of raw attack damage, right? Some monsters like Kulf Taroth, if you try to use Pierce ammo on her, she won't really take a lot of damage. She's weak to elemental damage, so you have to be thoughtful about that, okay? So yeah, just pay attention to that for the Pierce ammo, and you can set up 2 builds and have them ready to go, set up 2 item loadouts and have them ready to go as well. When it comes to the weapon tier rating, I would probably put the Great Bowgun in a solid, I want to say A+ tier, just because it's going to be getting, in terms of light bowguns, it's going to be getting nice solid damage out with either the pierce ammo or the normal ammo, depending on what build you give up. And you remember, this is kind of a high raw weapon with positive affinity, right? It has 0% affinity. So after you add the elementless decoration to it, it's actually pretty high raw for a light bowgun, right? And then just the fact that you have all 3 of the ailments, and for each of those ailments, you have both level 1 and level 2, and then you have level 2 sticky ammo as well. You're going to get a lot of ailments on the monster, and that's going to be pretty useful for your team if you're playing kind of like a support role for a light bowgun. So A+ it is. You know, some other similar bowguns that like to use the normal ammo rapid fire would be the Karma light bowgun, the new Empress, Shell, Ruin, maybe the Nergigante light bowgun. There's a whole bunch of them, but I feel like this one and the Blitz shot, I feel like those 2 in particular do a terrific job in this game, and that's probably why a lot of you guys asked me to review this weapon multiple times, which I finally have, so you can stop asking me. No, I do appreciate, though, when you guys ask me to do a weapon. What would you guys like to see me do next? I'm curious. Alright, with all that being said, I just want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.